think a huge misconception that most people have is that you have to spend a lot of money to look put together, look like you know how to dress yourself, and to look expensive. But that is far from the truth, and I'm here to share some very simple and cheap ways to look more put together. In fact, most of these are free. So first, let's talk about what it means to even look put together. And of course, everyone will have a slight variation of what it means to them to look put together. And I'd love for you to share what that means for you down in the comments below. For me, looking put together is an overall picture. It's not just how you dress or your hygiene or how you're carrying yourself, but it's truly a whole picture look that presents itself in a way that you are confident, you kind of have control of your life, you put some effort in. Essentially, it looks to me like you didn't just roll out of bed and are just like rolling through the motions of life. Did you know that someone's going to make their first impression of you within the first 7 seconds? And that's barely any time to even introduce your name. So it truly depends on how you're putting yourself together in those situations to make a really good first impression. And it's not only about how other people are going to perceive you, but it's also how you're telling the world how you perceive yourself. And when you feel put together on the inside, that's going to have a big impact on your overall mood, how accomplished you feel, and how in control of your life you truly feel. So let's talk about some cheap ways that you can look put together. I created a very simple checklist essentially outlining this video. So if you are a visual person and you want to take action on helping yourself look more put together, check the description box below. I will have a checklist for you down there. So first, let's talk about how you are dressing in a way to look more put together. It doesn't mean that you have to wear professional attire, wear high heels and expensive clothing to look put together. It truly depends on what occasion you're dressing for. So I don't necessarily think it's appropriate to talk about specific clothing that you need to wear to look put together. It's more so an overall way of the presentation of how your clothing is looking on. So the first way to look put together is dressing appropriately for the weather. For example, if you're wearing open-toed shoes in inclement weather or in the middle of winter when it's snowing, you are definitely not going to look put together. People are going to assume you did not check the weather app or even check outside before getting yourself ready, and essentially that's going to make it look like you just rolled out of bed, put whatever on, and didn't put any effort into your outfit. So definitely make sure to check the weather before you put together your look. The next tip is you have to invest in a steamer or an iron depending on your preferences, and I personally prefer a steamer for my clothing that suits almost everything in my wardrobe, and I feel like an iron just takes so much more time. I do think that's appropriate if you have collared shirts and professional slacks that you need to dress for, but if you're not dressing for that, I think a steamer is the perfect option. You can find these at every price point. You can find them more travel friendly, like a handheld steamer. I have a standing steamer because I got fed up with refilling the tank all the time because I do a lot of steaming. So no matter your budget, you can definitely find a steamer, and this will make your clothes look so much more expensive. It's very important to put that extra time into your wardrobe and steam or iron your clothes before you wear them. So when you show up wearing unkept and very wrinkled clothing, you're essentially sending a message to others that you didn't even care to put the effort in to steam them, or you didn't even have the time management to steam your clothing. So essentially it's just showing a lack of effort to getting ready for the day. Next is wearing clothing that flatters your body type, and it's not really about what specific clothing looks good on your body type. Clothing and accessories and designer items and really a lot of materialistic things really come down to how you feel in them, not necessarily how others think you look in them. Your clothing has a direct effect on your confidence and how you're presenting yourself to the world. That's not to say you have to spend a ton of money on your clothing. If you are a regular subscriber of my channel, I share weekly try-on hauls with very affordable pieces from Walmart, Target, mostly pieces under 100, and I show you how to style them and how to put them together. So I feel like hopefully if you are a subscriber of mine, you have a good sense of how to make things look nice and put together with my try-on hauls every single week. And if you are new and you like that type of content, hit the red subscribe button down below because that is what you typically see here on my channel. But just because something costs a lot of money, if you don't know how to put it together and style it appropriately or even figure out the right size for your body type, it's not going to help you look more put together. So it really doesn't matter how much you spend on your wardrobe. It's truly how you're presenting yourself in your outfit. Next, let's talk about personal hygiene. And there is a lot here that you can do to help yourself look and feel more put together. I actually think that personal hygiene has an even bigger impact than the clothing that you wear. So let's jump into ways to look more put together. First is having your nails done, and that does not mean that you have to go to the nail salon twice a month. I actually do my nails exclusively at home, so you can do your own at-home manicure. I personally prefer a gel manicure because it lasts so much longer and I just like the overall look better. But that also doesn't mean you have to have perfectly polished nails every single time you leave the house. You can just take the time to file and shape your nails, keep them nice and hydrated with cuticle oil, or my favorite is Aquaphor, keeping your hands hydrated, and you don't even have to paint them to look more put together. It's just putting that extra time into your nails to make them look fresh and manicured. And a little side note to that is chipped polish does not look as good as bare nails. So if you do like to paint your nails, once it starts to chip, it's really important to go ahead and remove the polish, because I think that chipped nails looks way less put together than fresh and clean nails. Next is having clean and styled hair. And that doesn't mean you have to spend every single day curling your hair to perfection to have these perfectly polished curls. Now, if you like that look, go ahead and you do you, but it just means putting in a little extra time so your hair doesn't look like bedhead essentially. So make sure it's clean and brushed. Even if you want to wear a ponytail for the day, just brushing out your hair and putting it back into a sleek, slick ponytail will look so much more put together than rocking a messy bun. You can also easily tame flyaways if you have a lot of frizzy hair or little frizzies around your face. You can do a couple different things. You can use a clear brow gel around your hairline to tame the flyaways. You can also use a very light hand of pomade as well. I have some lovely postpartum hair loss regrowth around my face right now, so that is currently my best friend. My next tip is to not slack on skincare. Truly putting the time into your skincare routine is gonna not only make your natural skin look fresh and better, but it will also make your makeup look a lot better as well if you like to wear makeup every single day. That doesn't mean you need a 10-step skincare routine. Trust me, mine is very, very low key. Essentially, I would just recommend a cleanser and a moisturizer. And if you're wanting to be a little fancy, a vitamin C is very important as well. But just very simple steps every single day. Keeping your skin healthy and hydrated is going to have a huge effect on looking more put together. Next is having a simple and natural go-to makeup routine. And this is definitely personal preference. I definitely feel better and more confident when I take the time to do my makeup every single day, but I really don't think you have to put makeup on every single day to look nice and put together. This is truly like a personal thing. If you want to just keep it very quick and simple and just put an extra minute or two into your getting ready routine, I would recommend just a quick application of mascara and then something hydrating on your lips to keep them looking healthy. Next is grooming your brows and keeping your hair maintained. So again, this is personal preference, but I personally feel more confident when my legs are shaved and my underarms are shaved. I know not everyone shaves their underarms, and I'm not here to say like what's right or wrong in that case. But personally, I feel more put together when everything's nice and smooth, and that also is my face as well. I am personally a big fan of shaving my face. I use these little razors. I have used these for like over 10 years. I actually use them to groom my eyebrows and then like all the peach fuzz on my cheek. It makes my makeup go on so much better. Honestly, like even fresh face, like skincare looks so much better because with the peach fuzz, it just kind of things like dead skin like gathers in it. It's honestly very eye-opening when you go to shave your face how much like it just exfoliates and gives your skin so much more of a youthful, glowy appearance. Even if you don't put any makeup on for the day, you can just run a brow gel through your brows and groom them to make sure they're nice and put together. Next is taking care of your teeth. And I think when you ask most people what they look at first or what's really gonna give like a first impression, most people are going to say their smile. I'm sure some people will also say eyes as well, but I think overall smile is really going to make a huge impact on how put together you look. And so taking care of your teeth is super important. I'm not your dentist, but hopefully you're brushing your teeth every day and flossing every single day. I fortunately have very naturally white teeth. I used to use like a lot of white strips, but really for the past couple years, I just use a Arm & Hammer like baking soda with hydrogen peroxide toothpaste, and that has kept my teeth super white and maintained. I also, brush them and floss every single day. If you're looking for a really cheap and effective way at whitening your teeth, I recommend getting a bottle of hydrogen peroxide. And I know that can seem a little intimidating to put in your mouth, but this is actually the active ingredient in all whiteners. If you look at Crest white strips, hydrogen peroxide is essentially the ingredient that makes the product work. It is completely safe to use. You can just swoosh the hydrogen peroxide around in your mouth before going to bed, and it will naturally whiten your teeth, and it's so much more affordable. I think you can get a bottle at the drugstore for $2. And the last thing, and probably the most important, especially to others, is just making sure that you are clean and smell nice. So don't forget the deodorant. This is the natural deodorant that I use, and it smells really good, and I have tried so many different versions of natural deodorant, and this is the only one that I can stand to use on a daily basis. I also think that there's a big psychological component when it comes to looking put together, and the best news about this is they are all completely free. My first tip is to wear a smile, and I feel like out in public I am guilty of having RBF. I am a type 6 on the Enneagram, and I am just like always on high alert when I'm out and about. I don't know. So I feel like that contributes to a little bit of RBF. But think about how much more inviting you are going to look when you carry yourself with a smile. My next tip is being organized, because it's really hard to not only look put together but also feel put together if you are stressed out of your mind. So putting in time to plan out your week, plan out your day, have morning routines and nighttime routines, and just having more grip on your everyday life is definitely going to help you not only look put together but also feel put together. All right, now let's talk about some actionable steps. This is kind of like a miscellaneous, but I feel like they are so important to looking put together. And again, they are completely free. So the first thing is having good posture. When you hold yourself upright, you are expressing more confidence in your everyday life. As a physical therapist, I could talk your ear off about how to strengthen your muscles and cue and all of the things to improve your posture. But it really comes down to self-cueing yourself, because every now and then people are going to slack on their posture. Over time, you kind of forget, and gravity is going to take over. Your shoulders are going to round. So you really just have to cue yourself. So whether that is setting a reminder every hour on your phone just to remind yourself to sit upright, squeeze your shoulders back, that constant self-cueing is really going to just bring more awareness to your posture throughout the day. A few things to look out for if you are wanting to improve your posture. You want to squeeze your shoulder blades back. So if you have a very weak back, you can work on, rows and strengthening your back and your lats and all that fun stuff. But you also want to make sure that you're not holding stress in your shoulders. Most people hold stress there, and so if you're super tense, you may find that your shoulders are shrugged. So you want to make sure that those are relaxed, down and back, and then typically you want your ears over your shoulder. If your ears are in front of your shoulder, that is called forward head posture, and that will essentially create a humpback down the road. So just remind yourself to have good posture, whether you're looking at yourself in the mirror or just have a reminder on your phone. And the more aware of it you are throughout the day, the better your posture will be. Next is to be on time. If you are someone who's constantly running late, constantly texting your friends that you're running late, showing up to work late, that is instantly going to put an impression that you are not put together. So being on time definitely has some more time management factors in and more planning. So those can definitely impact whether or not you look put together. Next is how you're presenting yourself to others as far as your communication style. If you are efficient at communicating and you know how to articulate yourself well and you have a very compelling voice, that will also affect whether or not you look put together to others. I know that was a lot of information and you may be finding yourself overwhelmed, like I have to do all of these things to look put together. So if that is you right now, take a deep breath, take a step back. You do not have to do all of these to look put together. It's really just an overall sense of how you're presenting yourself, and these are key ways that you can improve that if you are looking to do so. If you're wanting to look more put together, I have a checklist for you so you can print that off, put it in your planner, or put it somewhere that you can see it every single day, and it will remind you of ways to look more put together. And best of all, most of these were completely free or very affordable. Everything that I mentioned throughout the video, like the hydrogen peroxide and my favorite deodorant, I will have all of that linked for you down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new, hit the red subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later this week with a new video. Bye!